All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. The Lord said, confession good for the soul. So right now,
all I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, and I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, and I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster. And shot call to be known with them niggas letting shots off. Either that or the right hand to the top dog. Funny how we see vanity, not the lives lost. Can't be focused on a life that's hopeless. Out there pumping, not knowing the Lord will kill you for that hocus pocus. Used to roll with niggas that cook dope with weaponry. Same ones claim they love you. I had no life in jeopardy. And I know my mother wants success for me. But that G should take a girl straight to ecstasy. Remember running with bruh, even though we did the wrong thing. My life would've been a lot different if I fell up under Rob's wing. Was too sincere for a wicked game. Shame the Lord's name, now we afflicted with pain. All I ever wanted was to be respected by stand-up niggas, not knowing that them handcuffs custom made the face. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, and I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, and I was just a stranger. All I wanted was to be a gangster. I ain't lying, I was close to dying. Knew I wanted to live, but I wasn't trying. I was defiant, not knowing that this ain't how we live. This just how they design it. Cause when you in them streets, you get more endemic. They don't tell you gonna be on papers and on restrictions. My father said a hard head to make a soft ass. I didn't care, I wanted fear when I walked past. In a place where a black man's blood is cheap. I thank the Lord for the day I was on Lake Street. Pissing in the cup, back and forth to court. From the DC school, I swear it felt like I cried on that fucking porch. The Lord said, my sheep, they ain't hear my voice. Asked me why I'm UPK, I told them I ain't have a choice. They said God ain't 50-50 and what's gonna come to pass. The Lord called me out the world and I started running fast. All I wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, and I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, and I was just a stranger. Go ahead. All I wanted was to be a gangster. Isupk until it hit the fam. I want power and a throne, nigga, fuck them grams. All I wanted was to be a gangster, but I was real as a righteous man. And now got the upper hand, gotta promote this brand. Correct whole multitudes until they all understand. If I can't get that crown, Lord, then put me in the hands of someone more mighty, make me this hit man. Reminiscing on the pain that was felt. Shit, I was in the jam. Shit, I needed help. But Swan was locked up and the judge put man on the shelf. Heavy crying cause it felt like I was left by myself. All I wanted was to impress niggas with my grinding. Now I ain't trying to prove shit to nobody but Muhammad. Cause most these niggas lie, pump smoke. One time for the most high, he made me a cutthroat. Cause all I ever wanted was to smash my opponents. Stacking cash, not knowing it wouldn't last. Dear God, I hope you accept my atonement. Cause all I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. Decisions that I made provoked the Lord's anger. Prayed to him all the time, and I was just a stranger. All I ever wanted was to be a gangster. Little did I know I was in danger. warrior. Any man give his life for Yahweh Shai, Mashiach, and Christ, and fall up under that UPK banner. It's my brother and my blood, and I will die and kill for him if necessary. Go to ground, 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 go to ground. It's all about that warfare, boy. Give ground, give ground, give ground, back up, give ground, give ground, give ground, back up, give ground, give ground. It's all about that warfare, boy. Take ground, 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 take ground. My soldiers take ground till them stand down. Take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground, take ground. My soldiers take ground till them stand down. Take ground, take ground, take ground. Now this ain't no movement, this a takedown. We will not be moved or intimidated. We ain't the type. You got a problem, tell them cross the fucking line. My niggas ain't polite. Soldiers to the left and right. I die for every man body. Before I be a coward, I'd rather be a dead body. This will be my kingdom when the hour pass. You can either get with it or get flipped like an hourglass. We live by honor and no excuse. Just send the prayer up to the Lord. I told him, then let all the terrorists loose.
All jokes aside, you know how niggas be like, I'm this and that for life, this and that for life. I'm on West for life, nigga, this a blood oath. Hey, yo, Madara, here go a class for you, my nigga. 140 for the rebel. The world turned its back on me. I'm a cripple. We got soldiers, he got soldiers, but I got different ones. Ain't no way out, I tell you once. Don't pray for nothing, sin and curse. We can't forgive what's forbidden. Remain in them trenches. Trust in the Lord, but please forgive me for the times that I did. If rank is given, have your respect to your apprentice. Be about your business. This loyalty's a death sentence. Look, trying to pick up with a blind fail. They said there'll be many mansions. I'm just grinding for my time share. Them devils ain't playing fair. They hunt you like Van Pelt, but ain't no getting out the game like Jumanji. You take that oath, it's a Dundee. Try to deal death to a priest, you won't make it out in one piece. So you can stand, just make sure you got the heart. Say your name 3 times, then it's death do us part. No. So how you feel about this truth I done shown you? This ain't the life you think, little nigga, I should want. Even your own people go disown. And the Lord said they hate you for my name, so you better keep it on. Ain't no more guessing, ain't no more questions. Make sure my election till I'm tucked away like George Jetson. Murder for capital, now it's murder at the Capitol. The world in amazement, we like fuck 'em, raise it, raise it. I pity those watching life as it go by. Be giving mercy in this life, I don't know why. It puff smoke, never try to. The dead at home, my brother be the dead, it's all I don't. Either fold or salute, my nigga. Salute, my nigga. They like, how you stay focused? I told them I'm motivated cause of you, my nigga. Brotherhoods and weapons, still got weapons on the scene. Now I never do my niggas like Bishop did Raheem. Never mind in all beliefs, they under anesthesia. Shorty say she need me, said she wanna let that love go. Told I let that love grow. But if I bring you to my bed, that's a blood oath. Know what it is, man. So, how you feel about this truth I done shown you? This ain't the life you think, little nigga, I should want. Even your own people gon' disown. And the Lord said they hate you for my name, so you better keep it on. Yeah, yeah. All jokes aside, you know how niggas be like, I'm this and that for life, this and that for life. I'm on West for life, nigga, this a blood oath. Hey, yo, Madara, here go a class for you, my nigga. 140 for the rebel. The world turned its back on me. I'm a cripple. We got soldiers, he got soldiers, but I got different ones. Ain't no way out, I tell you once. Don't pray for nothing, sin and curse. We can't forgive what's forbidden. Remain in them trenches. Trust in the Lord, but please forgive me for the times that I didn't. If rank is given, have your respect to your apprentice. Be about your business. This loyalty's a death sentence. Look, trying to pick up with a blind fail. They said there'll be many mansions. I'm just grinding for my time share. Them devils ain't playing fair. They hunt you like Van Pelt, but ain't no getting out the game like Jumanji. You take that oath, it's a Dundee. Try to deal death to a priest, you won't make it out in one piece. So you can stand, just make sure you got the heart. Say your name 3 times, then it's death do us part. No. So how you feel about this truth I done shown you? This ain't the life you think, little nigga. I should want even your own people go disown. And the Lord said they hate you for my name, so you better keep it on. Ain't no more guessing, ain't no more questions. Make sure my election till I'm tucked away like George Jetson. Murder for capital, now it's murder at the Capitol. The world in amazement, we like fucking raise it, raise it. I pity those watching life as it go by. Be giving mercy in this life, I don't know why. In puff smoke, never try to. The dead at home, my brother be the dead, it's all I don't. Either fold or salute, my nigga. Salute, my nigga. They like, how you stay focused? I told them I'm motivated cause of you, my nigga. Brotherhoods and weapons, still got weapons on the scene. And I never do my niggas like Bishop did Raheem. Never mind in all beliefs, they under anesthesia. Shorty say she need me, said she wanna let that love go. Told I let that love grow. But if I bring you to my bed, that's a blood oath. Know what it is, man. So, how you feel about this truth I done shown you? This ain't the life you think, little nigga. I should want even your own people gon' disown. And the Lord said they hate you for my name, so you better keep it on. Yeah, yeah.
Go live on your platform, my guy. Yeah, that's right. Everyone, let's back that up. Isupk in the building, man. Shalom, Israel. Shalom, 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 Lord of Christ. Yahweh Shabbat God to the brothers. Yahweh Shabbat to the sisters, man. We are the Isupk. Started out on 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Junior High. And our mission is to teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians who they are according to the Bible, and that the oppressor is the devil about to be served. Right. And we going into the War of the Maccabees, man. And this, my fault. We going into the War of the Maccabees, and the reason we going into this is because, like, these brothers that we about to read about. You know what I'm saying? These brothers and sisters, man, they're families, because, you know, it wasn't just, you're about to read about the man, but you better believe they had wives, they had sisters, they had daughters, and they all sacrificed. You understand? They all sacrificed for what? For the glory of the Most High. They said, no, we're not going to conform. We're not going to take away what we believe. We're not going to do what you want to do to us. We're not going to sell out. Can you imagine in today's world if we came together as a nation and told people that? No, we're not going to sell out. Joe Biden said, I'm going to give you Juneteenth. We told them, man, damn you. We want a bill passed like you gave the Asians. We're not going to sell out for Juneteenth. You understand? Christian pastor said, listen, we're going to vote for Biden. We're going to set the voting booths up in this church. Man, damn you in that church. We're not going. We don't want no voting booths in there. We want a man from among us like was brought out in Deuteronomy. Can you imagine if we had that kind of spirit? I'm telling you, we would have the kingdom now. The Most High Christ would be like, yeah, they ready. Let's go. This is 200 million angels. Pull up. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. It's going down. Because the Lord is just waiting on us to get together, man. What do you think He's waiting on? You understand? We have to prove ourselves worthy, man. Like the scriptures say, He come like a thief in the night. You ain't gonna know it's coming. You ain't gonna know it's coming. But like any father, like any parent, let me put it that way, you're not about to reward your kids with nothing if they ain't earned it. The kingdom is something we have to earn. What's the proof of that? The scriptures. The kingdom of heaven come not with observation. Us just looking and hoping and praying for it, that's not going to get the job done. Right. We have to work for it, man. And we about to read about some men that worked for the kingdom, man. They put in a brick. These scriptures say this. These scriptures are here for our learning, man. And we need to learn from these scriptures, man, and figure it out. Because without it, we're going to be lost. Like right now, Captain Kapaz brought it out earlier when we was talking before class got started. He said people are preparing for Christmas now. And listen, and that's true. People are preparing. You're going on the stores, your kids' Christmas decorations are out. I just was in a Dollar Tree earlier with my son. And, you know, we went in there to get some what did we go for? I know I went to go get some survival stuff. So they got these little fire starter kits, what I highly recommend everybody get for $1. It's like these little things, they burn for like 10 minutes, and they burn no matter what. I tested them out, I recommend them. And I bought like 15 of them at Dollar Tree. Because, you know, it's like Game of Thrones to me, winter is coming. And I think it's going to be a bad one. So if I have to go out front and chop up some of that wood and start a fire, I don't want to be fiddling with matches and pouring gasoline. I just simply light one of them things, throw it in there in a pile of wood, and that thing will burn for 10 minutes. And if the wood ain't caught fire in 10 minutes, then I need better wood. You understand? So I'm just prepping for winter. That's some of my winter preps. I would advise those. You know what I'm saying? You get them at Dollar Tree, $3 for $1. They are well worth that little dollar investment. Trust me. So we was there getting winter preparations and survival preparations, and you know, we end up seeing people buying Christmas everything. They buying the little things to hang on the door, the little red bows. They sell Christmas lights at Dollar Tree. They sell Christmas lights at Dollar Tree. They make it so cheap. They make it easy to celebrate pagan holidays now. You can buy all this stuff for cheap now. You understand? They want you to celebrate so bad, they basically give it to you. What you need, a tree? We're donating Christmas trees. We may not have a gift up under it, but you can have the spirit, you can have it. But go ahead. But these brothers and sisters in these scriptures, they fought and died not to have that happen. You understand? That's why the Maccabean War is so important. You understand? But I'm ready for the scriptures whenever you are. Quantazar, we in 1 Maccabees 1 and 33.
And it's like I could before we continue.
Yeah, right, Chris.
You know, saying our people can truly thank the Christian pastors as for why it is that we prioritize celebrating our oppressors' holidays over, you know, saying acquiring necessities in order for us to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is truly, you know, like it truly shows you the destruction of our people for us to choose, you know, gifts or lights, you know, saying pumpkins, turkeys, like just things in order to honor what it is that our oppressor forced upon us over our own survival as a nation.
Right.
And it's something that we have prioritized time and time again, especially with COVID-19 going on and that new strain that's going on within the earth. Like, if we didn't learn a lesson from what happened last year, which, I mean, it seems like it's been damn near 3 years since COVID popped off.
Man, it's been longer than that. And here's the thing. I told people COVID was the new way of life. They didn't want to believe it. It's the new way of life. It ain't going nowhere no time soon. In fact, like you brought out, new strains is going to come out and it's going to go downhill. Mm-hmm. It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse.
Right. And that should have showed our people that things are truly starting to change within America.
Right.
You're saying COVID-19 has not only affected the economy, but it's also affected the government. It's affected how the police system operates. It affects the poverty it is that we live in as a nation.
Right.
Like, it truly affects like our people as a whole. And for our religious leaders to tell us to simply go out and to prepare for the holidays, to go out and to keep what it is that America has given us, like, that just shows you where they have failed. Like the scriptures say, they are dumb dogs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They don't alert you when danger is at hand. They don't tell you to prepare for winter when supplies are about to be short. Right. You better believe that you know what I'm saying, brothers and sisters are going to be out of the job even more with the flu season coming around.
Right.
You better believe that America is short on supplies because they're not able to get supplies in through the harbors. They're not able to get supplies in through the airports, right, through the trains. they're low on workers. Like there's all of these different factors that are going into the lack of supplies within America, and the leaders are not telling us about this.
And if I could, I didn't even mean to cut you off, but you're dropping it so heavy. The proof of that is what? The stimulus checks that was going around. You thinking that the government did that because they cared about you? They love us. That's why they're giving us these stimulus checks. They did that to jumpstart the economy because everything that Baghdad is bringing out is what was going on. Everything was at a standstill. So they put them stimulus checks into play to help stimulate their economy, not yours, black man, Hispanic man, indigenous man. They ain't give a damn about us.
Right.
That was for them. So I want to bring out.
And with all this that's going on, we got to remember that our religious leaders did the same thing back during the time of the Maccabees.
Right.
Back during the time of the Romans. You know what I'm saying? Back during all the times that we've been oppressed as a people, our leaders have told us time and time again to believe in the ways of the nation that oppresses us.
Right. And if I could, you brought out some other heavy points that I'd like to touch on. Like you said, like you brought out some heavy points that I feel like we should touch on. Like you brought out like how our so-called religious leaders aren't preparing us for what's to come, right? Because biblically, what is COVID-19 called? You know, sis? Huh?
COVID-19, what the?
Like biblically, what would it be called?
Oh,
A plague. Damn right. Let's stop it up for that. That's exactly what it is. It is a plague from the Lord. Biblically, COVID-19 is a plague. Why wouldn't our Christian pastors be preparing us to survive this plague? Like you see what happened in Egypt when the plagues hit.
Right.
Like Egypt was destroyed. And if we don't learn nothing from this Bible, then what the hell are we doing? I understand. What are we even reading it for? What is church even for if they're not learning from the Bible? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why are they going there every Sunday and not learning? How do you go to Sunday school and not learn? You understand? Like you might as well just stay in regular school because you ain't learning nothing there either. You understand? Like this is a plague and you have to prepare and prep. And the sad part is this. The Lord has put a decree down. He don't want you celebrating these pagan holidays no more. When COVID-19 first hit, I don't even know if people remember, but even the government was like, do not celebrate Thanksgiving. Celebrate it within your own household, just within your intermediate family, the people you live with. Do not go visit family members. Do not do that this year. I know y'all won't do it, but don't do it. Do not go visit family members. But here's what the problem was. People didn't listen. When I say people, I mean white America, especially. And not just them, and that's the sad part. I wish I could say it was just them, but we didn't listen either. When I say we, I mean blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous. We did not listen at all. And we went and we got with our family members and we celebrated Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that, and the numbers spiked through the roof. Now we burying aunties, now we burying cousins, we burying family members because we didn't listen to the Lord.
Right.
This is why a story like the Maccabees is so important, because they listened to the Lord, man, and they was willing and they listened. And if you're gonna die for anything, why not die for the Lord? That's all I'm gonna say. If you're gonna just throw your life away, if your life, you just gonna throw it away, why not put the Lord in it? Why not give everything to the Lord? Like I don't fear death because I serve the Lord. You understand? If it's my time to go, it's my time to go. But I'm going to go knowing that I put my best foot forward to serve the Lord. Both feet forward. I'm going to die knowing that I didn't fold on what I believed in when it comes to serving the Most High Christ, man. And that's what the Maccabees is about, man. Not folding, dying for what you believe in. Well, me in the world, that's what we do. We die for whatever bullcrap game we believed in. Whatever wickedness we was committing. People will die to rob somebody else. People die going on a lick. People do that. We about to hit this lick. They got 10 bricks in there, and you willing to die for that. Now we got to get ready to do the same for the Lord, man. Let's get these scriptures. First Maccabees 1:33.
Book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 33 in the Apocrypha.
If I could, officer, also, man, you are an officer. Speak up whenever you want to.
Oh, so lot to come on, sir.
All right, that's all I wanted. Go ahead, my dad.
Then builded they the city of David with a great and strong wall. You know what I'm saying? And this right here is talking about the heathens who came into our communities, or really into our cities, and built them up their own communities.
Mhm.
And that sounds exactly like the gentrification that is going on, not only within Indianapolis, within Columbus, within Sioux Falls, but also what's going on within all of the United States,
Right.
and even Canada as well. Like brothers and sisters are being gentrified, you know what I'm saying, out of their own neighborhoods, blocks it is that brothers claim every single day and die over. Like we were being pushed up out of them by these heathens.
Right.
And with these Afghanistanians coming into America, you know, saying brothers and sisters are gonna be pushed out even more. And we're gonna have to, you know, saying those that aren't pushed out, they're going to have to face the culture of the Afghanistanians. You understand? They're going to have to face the molestation that is the way of life for those Arabs.
They married 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
They married 10-year-old little girls. 10-year-olds. These niggas got Barbie dolls and playhouses, and they married them.
Right. Now, marrying, they have babies with them.
Yeah, they be pregnant by 12 years old. It's crazy.
It's a lot of me on the woman.
Go ahead, priest.
Just the reason why most doesn't want this fornicating with these heathen nations.
Right.
It's a lot.
Damn right. You're absolutely right. And a lot of people don't know, quick sidebar, a lot of people don't know. So them Afghanistan people, they was brought here to this city, to the Midwest on all these military bases, Camp Canterbury and all of that, right? They set up houses, gave them cars, gave them visas, gave them food stamps, and all of that. And guess what they did? They disappeared off the military bases. They trying to find them right now. They packed up and cut out. And it's funny though, because they gave them visas, they gave them food stamps, and they gave them cars. You gave them a way to escape. You gave them a way to escape. And like, yeah, we're going to Sam's Club, we'll be back, and never came back. And the reason they didn't come back is because they already have economic power in places of establishments where they can go and set up with their own people.
Right.
And their own people are going to accept them in. That's why you don't never see an Afghanistan person bumming for change. I dare one person to tell me that they've seen an Afghanistan person with a sign asking for change.
Right.
Or a Chinese person with a sign asking for change. An African person with a sign asking for change. You don't see these heathen nations begging for change.
Right.
They would rather die before they beg you. But beyond that, they don't have to beg because they just go to their own people.
Right.
And their own people set them up with jobs and places to live and all of that. They just had to get over here. The American Army provided a way for them to get over here, and they said, we good. Right now, they left from the Midwest. They scattered through everywhere now.
Right.
With their own people.
And it's like, if I could,
Right.
real quick, you know what I'm saying, there were a good bit of them Afghanistanians who were caught molesting children before they were released into the public.
Right.
Before they were released into the ghettos, the barrios, and the reservations within America.
Damn right.
And them soldiers knew exactly where they were going to place them disgusting heathens. They knew exactly what they were going to do once they came into our communities. They know that they were going to go from molesting their children to molesting our children.
Right.
You understand? They knew that they were going to go from selling drugs to their people to selling drugs to our people.
Right.
That they were going to go from raping their women to raping our women. Like,
Right.
America knows exactly how it is that these heathens act and their mannerisms it is that they have, and yet they still release them upon us. They still allow for them to do whatever it is, that they please to us as a people.
Right.
Like, that just shows us even more what little love it is that America has for us. And we can't make any excuses for them any longer. Like, America has been studying the Arabs for over 20 years.
Right.
You understand? Before the wars even started over there, they were studying their culture, their customs, how it is that they act, you understand, how they carry themselves. They were studying all of this. And with all this knowledge it is that they've accumulated, they've released them into the ghettos, into the barrios and the reservations to
Right.
further oppress us and to drain the riches from our communities.
Right, and if I could, set them up with bank loans, set them up with all this financial stability so they're able to operate, not only operate, but operate with impunity.
Right.
Because they have wealth now, they can pay for the lawyers even though they don't need them. But just say they did get arrested, they're not spending a day in jail. And if they do go, they're not put into the same cell blocks as we are. You understand, like it's a whole other animal, man.
Right.
It's a whole other animal. In America, like you said, America allows for this to happen. If we could, let's get back to the scriptures.
Okay. And with mighty towers, and made it a stronghold for them.
That's America today. Everywhere they go, everything they take over, they used to belong to blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous, they make it a stronghold. Your Christian church is a stronghold for white supremacy.
Right. And it's like not only does America make the ghettos, you understand, with their police stations a stronghold, but the heathens as well.
Right.
Like I remember through history research, of course, because that was before my time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I remember back when the LA riots was going on and the Koreans would get together and take rifles and get on top of their buildings to shoot down any black, Hispanic, or indigenous man, woman, or child that tried to loot their stores.
Right.
Like these are places that are really just created to oppress our people even more in this disgusting empire.
Right. And the crazy part is they was doing that because one of their own blew their head off of one of our sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Chased her like 6 blocks to shoot her in the back of the goddamn head and claimed self-defense and got away with it. You understand? This, and let me tell you something, man. None of this stuff will be happening if we stood for something. Like the story of the Maccabees. The reason the Romans, the reason the Greeks weren't allowed to do what they did is at first we went to war with the Greeks. That's who we was fighting against, the Greeks. The reason the Greeks weren't allowed to do what they wanted to do is because we stood for something and we would not accept it. We stood on what we believed in. We stood on the Most High. We believe in the Most High, and we gonna serve the Most High. And anybody who traded against us, even if it was our own, listen, we didn't accept traitors. That's the problem with our culture now. We accept traitors. We accept traitors. We embrace them in. Oh, you snitched. Tekashi 6ix9ine, prime example. Listen, heavy point, Bongad. Bongad said Christian pastor is a prime example. Damn right. It don't matter what the Christian pastor does, we accept it. Nobody's held to a standard anymore. The standard is no standard. And that's a problem in our culture.
Right.
That's a problem with the Most High. That's all I want to say. If you could, when we get, I'm sorry, Fontes, I can read it if you want to.
34. And they put therein a sinful nation, wicked men, and fortified themselves therein.
Read that again.
34. And they put therein a sinful nation.
A sinful what?
A sinful nation.
Listen, they put therein a sinful nation. This is Babylon. This is America. Same thing here in America. Keep going.
And it's like before we continue,
Right,
you're saying that sinful nation, not only is it the Arabs who come in here and molest our children and rape our women, but it's also the Asians who feed us dogs and cats.
Right. No, that's chicken.
Squirrels.
That's chicken.
And raccoons.
They said it was chicken.
And possums.
But they said it was chicken.
Might be some frogs. You understand? Feed us all kinds of abominable foods.
Right.
Not only is it the Asians, but it's also the Africans that come over here and do all of the above. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And also pumping drugs into our communities. You understand? All of these different nations that truly hate the children of Israel.
Right.
So-called blacks, Hispanics, and the indigenous who just come over here to further destroy us as a nation.
Right.
If it means that they get to come up.
Right.
That's why Christianity is so destructive to our people and why the Christian leaders are so destructive. Because they really just follow after the ways of our oppressor. And they think as long as they come up, why does it matter what happens to
Anybody
my
else?
community?
Right.
Why does it matter what happens to the ghetto it is that I grew up in? The ghetto that I saw all the drug dealing and the rapes and the molestations that happened to my brothers and sisters
Right.
as long as I come up in the society. And that is the same spirit that so many brothers and sisters have till this day. You know what I'm saying? Like I draw the truth on Jake's and Eve's, you know what I'm saying, brothers and sisters in my slave
Right.
every other week, or really every week. And the main thing, you know what I'm saying, their main defense for not speaking up or changing their ways is, well,
I'm good.
I don't care about them. I care about me
I'm
and
good.
my household. Like, we got to get out of that mentality as a nation. We got to start worrying about what is going on within our own community. That's why it is that child molestation is so heavy in our community. That's why it is that so many sisters are selling themselves in order to get high, in order to
Right.
pay their bills, in order to just survive within this kingdom. Like, we got to start focusing on the nation instead of ourselves.
Right. And if I could, to touch on a couple of points you made real quick, like you brought it out, like the Christian pastor, he's the main culprit of these Christian churches, because in the ghettos, and I'm pretty sure everybody else knows this, like that's where all the drugs is being sold, right around the churches. I see it all the time. But as you know, there's a big old church right on the corner, right before you cross the block to my house.
There's a church in their church right
Yeah,
up there.
there's a church right up there. And let me tell you something. Right across from that church, they're standing right across the street selling drugs.
Oh, it's like the church from 10th Street.
Oh man, they was listen. The church was selling the drugs over there. The pastor was hustling. You understand? He ain't just hustling the people, but he hustling the drugs. And this is what we dealing with. And that's the well. Listen, as long as I'm taken care of, I don't care what happens to my people. But I'm gonna preach to the people like as if I care. What they call that prosperity preaching?
Right.
It's a new show coming on, and I ain't watched it because I stay away from shows like this. But my rib tells me about it. It's called BMF, right? Black Mafia Family. Everybody knows about BMF, right? At some point in time. That's who Jeezy made his bones off of when he started in the dope game, talking about BMF. That's where he was getting his drugs from. Well, on there, it's supposed to be based loosely off the life of Big Meech and Lou Da Vinci and a couple other cats from BMF. You know what I'm saying? So Snoop Dogg plays the Christian pastor on there, of course, and it's showing how the Christian pastor is basically allowing them to run drugs and stuff like that through the church. Knowing that these cats is in there selling drugs, they taking the donations in and all of that to turn a blind eye. For some odd reason, our people believe that if you go to the corrupt Christian pastor, you can pay for sin. You can pay your way. Listen, I know I'm selling drugs, but I'm gonna give this $10,000 to this Christian pastor. That way, the Lord will look the other way.
Right.
That's how we believe it happens, and it's not. And if you could, would you read that scripture one more time?
Come. Verse 34. And they put therein a sinful nation, wicked men, and fortified themselves therein.
And this goes back to America once more, because America says one nation under who? Under God, right? But in their mind, the God that they're talking about is white God. The Jesus that they pray to is white Jesus. One nation under God. But that ain't what the scriptures say.
I'll say slack.
Go ahead, priest.
I would say we're going to actually get into that a little later in this
Yeah, I
chapter
already
specifically.
I already know. but this is the problem. You understand? One nation under God. We are not one nation under the Most High. They are who they are, and we are who we are. If we was one nation under God, why don't they suffer the way that we suffer? And then it says, fortify themselves, wicked man. What's the fortification? That if we don't accept the wickedness of America right now, then America's not the problem, we're the problem. You get what I'm saying? That's why in the Maccabean wars, I call it the War of the Maccabees. Now, and I say that purposely because when you listen to so-called historians, they call it the Maccabean revolt. Like, why are they calling it the revolt? Does anybody know? No? Go ahead, Chris.
To try to say that it was something that's wrong.
Exactly. Because they're trying to say for them to go against the Greeks was wrong. You only revolt against something that's wrong. You get what I'm saying? No, that's wrong. So they trying to make it seem like the Greeks was right and these Hebrews was tripping. Man, them Hebrews is tripping. Why come they couldn't allow us to pray to our gods at they church? It's my God. Even though it's their church, it's my God. Go ahead, priest.
So why you real so heavy? I just want to drop a little bomb. The definition of fortified. It means to make strong, such as to strengthen and secure a place such as a town, by fortress or battery, to give physical strength and courage or endurance. You know what I'm saying? To add mental or moral strength to encourage. That's what it means to fortify.
All right. And who is that? That's the police force.
Right.
You understand? That's the police force. You're not allowed, listen, this place is so damn wicked. Because when you think about it, the police swear oath under God, right? To do the right thing, to bring justice, to be righteous. And we know that ain't what the police do. We know that ain't what the police do in our eyes. But in their eyes, they're doing it because, let me tell you something, their God and their Christ is not the same. They serve white God and white Jesus.
Right.
That's why what they're doing is right. That's why when you looked up these so-called hate groups, I'm going to drop this real quick and then we're going to get back to the scriptures. Like KKK, like the Boo-Boo Boys, like the Oath Keepers and all these are white supremacist groups, right? But their churches is called white Christians. White Christianity. That's what the churches is based out of. The religious terminology for the churches is called white Christian. If you're a Christian, you're a Christian, right? That's how black people view it. That's why Dylan Storm Roof was able to come into a black church. Because if you're a Christian, you're a Christian. I love you anyway. Give me a hug, my white brother. You get what I'm saying? That's the Christian philosophy, but not with them devils. Why do you think they burned crosses in the black people yards? Because they were Christians. But the difference is their Christianity is about white supremacy, and then translated into today's time, that's what Christianity is about nowadays, white supremacy. You understand? And this is the one nation under God. And this is how they fortify their stronghold. Let's get some more scriptures.
And it's like before we continue,
Go ahead, Bruce.
you understand, not only does America fortify themselves with their police forces, but these heathens, they also fortify themselves within America by cleaving onto the U.S. government.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Like for the Asians, like our people were, boycotting them and basically just trying to get brothers and sisters to stop going to them Asian restaurants that are serving up their prize pit bulls and their cats and dogs.
Right.
But I already said dogs, and rodents. You know what I'm saying? All these different things. And the Chinese, they cleaved onto America and they got them to pass a bill for them. You understand? They sat there and marched to stop Asian hate, all because we stopped eating at their establishments.
Right.
You understand? A fortification is not always,
Physical.
building up arms.
Right.
You understand? It can be going to another nation that has power.
Economic power.
Come.
Right. And that's a heavy point that you brought out because Trump, he was on the Asians' heads. He called it the Chinese flu. That's what he called COVID-19.
Kung flu.
Kung flu. Yeah, Kung flu. He was on their head. They got him out of there, not because they didn't believe in Trump, because Trump was too much of an open racist. See, the oppressor, his words are smoother than butter, but war is in his heart. You understand? So he wants smooth words, even though they know what the intentions is. Because what's the difference between Biden and Trump? There is no difference. The only difference, if you had to pick one, is that Biden isn't an open racist. He's a closet racist. He likes to pretend like he likes you while he stabs you in the back. Well, I like my racists like Trump. Don't stab me in the back. Just pull out the gun and point it in my face. You understand? Don't shoot me in the back of the head. Shoot me in the forehead. I want to see it come. That's just me. I want to see. Don't cut the lights on. Leave it alone. Don't cut him off. Leave him alone. I want to see. That's how I am.
So I got one.
Go ahead, priest.
To add insult to injury, the oppressor is the damn devil about to speak. So
That's right.
with the word fortified, to add mental or moral strength. He'll tell you in America. But as sure as iron rusted, his word is smooth and butter. Let you know that, hey, you're one of us.
Right.
Who came over here on the plains in southern Ohio and got everything that our so-called black American Indians worked for their whole life and never obtained?
Right. Came right over here. And then when the Haitians did it, he said, y'all niggas gotta go back.
Man, turn around.
Right. That's why stories like the Maccabees is so important. Let's get back into it.
Okay. So 35. They stored it also with armor and victuals.
In today's time, there would be bullets, guns, the armories, military weapons. Keep going.
And when they had gathered together the spoils of Jerusalem,
You know what that means, stealing from blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous.
they laid them up there, and so it became a sore snare.
And you can't talk about black empowerment. You can't talk about this land belongs to the indigenous. You can't talk about none of that because now that becomes hate speech. That's what it is in today's time. Keep going.
36. For it was a place to lie in wait against the sanctuary, and an evil adversary to Israel.
What kind of adversary?
An evil adversary to Israel.
No, they love us.
An evil adversary to Israel.
The oppressor is the goddamn devil, the Bible speaks of. Keep going.
37. Thus they shed innocent blood.
What kind of blood?
Innocent blood.
Guilty.
Innocent blood.
Vengeful blood, right?
Innocent blood.
Keep going.
And it's like, well, before we continue,
Go ahead, please.
you know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what America does every single day with blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous. Yes, and they murder brothers and sisters who are completely innocent of any crimes.
Right.
Just like the Hispanics who are locked up in cages till this day in the ICE facilities.
Right.
Like, them brothers and sisters didn't commit any crimes. Yes, and the land it is that they were dwelling in, that belonged to their ancestors.
Right.
That was stolen from them. Just like what had happened to the indigenous. You understand? Where all of America was stolen from them.
Right.
It's the same thing that happened to Ahmed Arbery, who I'm sure brothers and sisters who have forgotten now.
Right.
But America hasn't forgotten. And they haven't forgotten for the sole purpose of that they have devils who are still accused of a crime that they have to set free.
Right.
Like, there are trials going on right now for the murder of Ahmed Arbery.
Right.
And they're trying to justify his murder. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to justify the actions of the devils that took his life.
Right.
That hunted him down like he was some goddamn animal and gunned him down in the streets.
Right.
And America is trying to justify that. And the sad thing is that they're going to get away with it.
Right.
They're going to get away with that, just like they're going to get away with all of the brothers and sisters who were wrongfully murdered, you understand, by police or a citizen of America. Who was that cat? Damn, hang on, I got.
Give me that. Talk to me. Who you thinking about?
His brother hugged the woman that
Botham
murdered
Jean.
Botham Jean, the water.
So all you had to do was tell me what you're talking about.
The water. You understand? Like
Botham
Botham Jean, that devil that murdered him, that kicked in his door and claimed that she was at the wrong address.
I'm at home.
You
What are you doing
understand?
here?
She's going to get off. Just
Right.
like Ahmed Arbery's murderers are about to get off.
Right.
Like, it's like the scriptures say, you understand, that they hold themselves not guilty. Like,
Right.
these people do not hold themselves guilty for the crimes that they commit against the Lord's chosen people. Just like all those officers who locked up the Hispanics in those ICE facilities, you think they're going to feel guilty for raping those sisters, for molesting them children, for beating the brothers to death, and for
Right.
making all of the Hispanics come up missing out of them facilities? Like they aren't going to give a damn about any of that. And that's just the spirit of America. That's the spirit that these people will always have as a nation. And once we shake off the Christianity from among us, we'll be able to realize that, and we'll be able to separate ourselves from these people.
And if I could, to show you how the scripture is manifold, like something that's always in the back of our mind that we all know about, we all grew up learning about this even to this day. Emmett Till. Innocent blood. That devil confessed that, yeah, I lied.
Right.
She confessed. Emmett Till. You understand? Innocent blood. Tamir Rice. Eric Garner. Trayvon Martin. Cedric Bland. You understand? Philando Castile. Goddamn right, Chris. You understand? This goes to show you how manifold the scripture is, man. Like how they shed innocent blood. And then, if I could, every side of the sanctuary and defiled it. Now, the sanctuary, the Christian church is supposed to be a sanctuary, right? Guess who walked up inside a Christian church and shed innocent blood? Dylan Storm Roof.
Right.
You understand? That's how you know these scriptures is manifold. This is how you know the oppressor is the devil, man. And this is why stories like the Maccabees is so important. Because when you start bringing up stuff like this and you hear these scriptures, to talk about how the oppressor shed innocent blood back when the Maccabees was around, and then you compare it to today, you know that the scriptures come full circle and it's all manifold. That's all I want to say.
So you read the beginning of 37.
Yeah, go ahead and read 37.
Okay. 37. Thus they shed innocent blood on every side of the sanctuary.
That's saying, I almost said the W word. The oppressor is the devil, the Bible speaks of.
Right.
That's what that's saying.
And defiled it. 38. Insomuch that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them.
And if I could, real quick, that goes to show you that the oppressor is the devil. To where we have to switch up and say the oppressor because we can't say who, something that's going to offend them. Like you can't offend the white man, you can't offend homosexuals, you can't offend none of these other nations, but you know who you can offend? You can offend the children of the Lord. You can say nigger with no repercussions. You can say spit with no repercussions. You can say savage with no repercussions.
Like you can go out and try to beat or murder a Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, it's like indigenous, while saying a racial slur, and there'll be no repercussions.
No repercussions. But you can't even call the oppressor the devil by calling him by how we know him to be. We have to say oppressor. You understand? We can't even, man, the oppressor's the goddamn devil. This place, that's why the Most High has to return so he can lay waste to this place, man. That's why stories like the Maccabees are so important, so you learn how not to compromise, because you can never compromise with the devil. Keep going.
And it's like before we continue, you know what I'm saying, and so I'm gonna reread it from the top.
Damn right.
It says 38. Insomuch that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them.
Right.
And that sounds exactly like gentrification.
Right.
And brothers and sisters, like we had to flee out of our own communities because America was forcing us out of them. Because the heathens decided that they wanted to push up in them and make their own communities where it is that we were building our lives. And like you said, that's something that is manifold.
Right.
You understand? Because just like it happened back then, it's happening now.
Right.
And we might not see it because it's not, as violent per se as it was then.
Oh, it's violent. It's damn sure violent. Whenever you see a house that you grew up in the neighborhood in, and this house has been torn down and it's been for $5,000 forever, and now all of a sudden it's a $300,000 house, that is very violent. That is very violent to me. It's a lot. You know what I'm saying? It may not be bloodshed, but it's bloodshed on your goddamn wallet if you try to buy back a house in your neighborhood. It's bloodshed on your wallet because we know that we don't have the economic stability to be able to afford something like that. And then they tell you the mortgage is $3,000 and you have to make double that? How are we gonna make double that working at McDonald's, my guy? Because that's the only place that'll freaking hire us. Am I the only person that's ever been told that you're overqualified for a job? I've had that said to me.
Right.
You are overqualified. I said, what the? I almost had a black moment. What they say on the boondocks, I almost had a nigga moment. So lock you. I almost had one of them overqualified. They will find any and everything that they can to keep you out of that. That is violence. Because try with an oppressor, what he's gonna do. I just came across a story the other day where a devil shot up a workplace. He went in there and killed 2 people. He went in there with the blah, 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 blah. Then killed himself. Blah. You understand?
Hey.
Like that, it leads to violence. If I'm stopping you from eating, what are you gonna do if you're starving? You ever see a starving dog? You wonder why dogs are so food aggressive? Because they've been starving. You understand? When you're not feeding the dog enough, it's like, man, now, it's food? Like, that is the mentality. And that's the situation that we have been put in. So, Lockie, go ahead, please. I didn't mean to cut you off. So, Lockie.
Whereupon the city was made an habitation of strangers.
And what kind of people?
Was made an habitation of strangers.
It's made an habitation of strangers. You compare that to today. Now everything in the city is homosexual in nature. The same clubs that we used to go to kick it at is now homosexual clubs. Even the places you go to eat at is homosexual in nature. The cartoons, everything is listen, this place is strange to us. It's to the point that they're trying to make homosexuality normal. These heathen customs are normal. None of this stuff, you know why we stay at home all goddamn day? Because the world ain't what it used to be. We can't relate to none of this stuff. Am I the only person to see people with these skinny jeans so damn tight that it's cutting off the circulation in their blood? They got skinny jeans with a skinny pistol. Like they taking this stuff way too far. You understand? Habitation of strangers, man. This is no longer, you don't recognize this land. You cannot tell America belongs to the indigenous people no more. You can't tell. You can't tell the ghettos belong to the black people. You can't tell that the barrios belong to the Hispanic people. Let me tell you something. When you see white people running through your neighborhood, walking their little wiener dogs, that's how you know it's over for the neighborhood. It's over. They got these things now called habitat houses here in this city. That's basically a house that comes already put together, and then just set it up right there. It's like a house you would make in shop class back in the day. But they've taken that out of public schools because they don't want black people to have the skill set no more. They don't want you to have it because then you're going to be able to make some decent money and take care of your family and maybe even own something. They don't want you to have nothing, black man, Hispanic man, Native Indian man, indigenous man, Slovakian. That's why the Maccabees is so important. Let's get some more.
And became strange to those that were born in her.
Listen, we've seen this. We've seen the ghettos. I've lived in this city my whole life. One ways are now 2 ways. They've never been 2 ways, but they didn't become 2-way streets until they started building these $300,000 houses that they priced us out of and gentrified the whole goddamn neighborhood. Go ahead, Bruce.
Besides the 1 ways and 2 ways, shoot, I remember when I first came in the truth, you had nothing but Israelites in your community. Now it's like
my neighbors.
Every other house is a devil.
Right. You remember that? That's why I wanted to move into my neighborhood. Because when I first moved into my neighborhood, it wasn't nothing but blacks and Hispanics. Now, my neighborhood is being gentrified at a rate. That's why, like me and my rib, we're trying to make a play on that house that burned down. And they still trying to charge. And this is the thing. This is why we need to hire some devils to try to make a play on this house for us. Because I think they'll be trying to charge us the money because we're black. Because you see the house, my dad. They shouldn't want no more than like $3,000 for that house.
I'm sorry, it's a block. Cause me and my rib were looking into it. It's just the area, because
Yeah, they just
our
the area.
yes, our oppressor being the devil that he is, he's trying to make sure that blacks, Hispanics, and Indigenous can't afford it, while at the same time, even devils that are like middle class can afford it.
Right.
Because their middle class is far above our lower
Their
class.
middle class is making $250,000 a year. That's their middle class. That's poor to them. $250,000 a year. Ha 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 ha. Like they get offended. You understand? So all right. So at least you looked into it too, because I thought I was tripping. I looked on the thing on the website, and I'm like, you want $30,000 for this burnt down piece of crap? And the price keeps fluctuating. Then it go from 30 to 20, from 30 to 20. I got like $10 for it. You understand? That thing is burnt down to a crisp. There's nothing to salvage. I would literally have to rebuild from the ground up. There's nothing can be salvaged. Not even the goddamn front yard. But like they want 30, 40, 50,000 for a burnt down house. Why? To price blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people out of it. So we can't afford it. So only an oppressor with some money that's making $250,000 a year can come in and buy that house. And they're gonna and I guarantee you when they buy that house, they're gonna sell it to them for like $2,000, $3,000, and then they're gonna be able to really afford to. It'll be a good return on the money for them. You understand? And this is why we have to be like the Maccabees and make all these heathen nations feel uncomfortable being around us. We have to. I'm not saying go out and kill people like the Maccabees. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying when you come out on the porch and you're never like, good morning, you don't have to say it back. You don't have to. I don't. I don't say it back. When I'm like, good morning, I look at them. To the point they don't even say it no more. Because I don't speak back. I make them feel uncomfortable. When I park, I purposely take up 2 parking spaces. You can't park in front. You have to park in back. You understand? I'm purposely a bad neighbor to them. I'm purposely a bad neighbor. When I barbecue, every nigga gets something. But these devils, I never offer them anything. Would you like to try some lamb? I've never said that to them. You understand? I get a crackhead coming down the street something before I get these devils anything. Because I'm only for blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous. That's how we have to be. Trayvon Martin got murdered. Why? Because he was walking home and the devil said he doesn't belong here. But he's supposed to be neighborhood watch. How are you neighborhood watch? You don't even know who lives in your neighborhood.
Right.
You understand? The pressure's the goddamn devil, man. And that's what the scripture is bringing out. You understand? The neighborhoods don't even look the same to us no more. Trayvon Martin probably hit the wrong block. He was like, man, all these houses look the damn same. Where's my house at? You understand? Let's get some more of the scriptures.
39. Her sanctuary was laid waste like a wilderness.
That's your goddamn Christian church.
Mm-hmm.
Today's time. You understand?
Go
ahead, priest.
It's just so heavy what y'all bringing up. I can't. It just keeps resonating in my head. The part where it says that they gathered together the spoils of Jerusalem. And Zephaniah 1 says, gather together all you undecided.
Right.
And then Matthew also says that for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So the Christian church manipulates the so-called blacks, Hispanic, Native American Indians into believing whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be able to benefit them.
Right.
And it's so diabolical because innocent blood is shed all the time, but they think they're doing right because they have no identity. You know what I'm saying? That's why, I take my hat up to Commander J. Hunter, you know what I'm saying, the ISUPK, you know, where you can learn, you know what I'm saying, from true Christian prophets.
Damn right. You goddamn right. Damn right. All of us owe Commander J. Hunter a great debt that'll never be repaid.
Right.
But we gonna do our best by passing this knowledge forward and building up whoever was willing to be built up, man.
Right.
That's the people in our family that's willing to listen and learn, we gonna build them up. The people on the street that's willing to listen and learn, we gonna build them up. You understand? It's an old saying that we took out the world that we thought it was just some hardcore stuff because we didn't know it was biblical. For each one, teach one. Now I'm paraphrasing, but that's biblical. You're supposed to, for each one of us, we're supposed to be raising our brother up bringing a sister up, bringing her into the truth, bringing him into the truth, and passing this knowledge on. That's how you keep the culture. That's how you stop your neighborhood from being gentrified.
Right.
If you're going to sell your house, do not sell it to a devil. If you're going to sell your house, sell it to a black person.
Well, so why don't you got it together?
Damn right. Damn right. Keep it in the family is what you really need to do. But in your intermediate family, we'll rephrase that. But if you got to sell it, you sell it to a black person because that's still keeping it in the family. And when I say black person, I mean Hispanic and indigenous because we are all the same. You understand? Let's get some more on the scriptures.
And so
Go ahead, priest.
before we continue, right, this scripture is so heavy because it showed us that even during the time of the Greeks, we didn't have truly a safe place as a nation.
Right.
You understand? And not only during the time of the Greeks, but also during the time of the Romans, when the Sadducees and Pharisees were supposed to look out for our people, but yet they decided to fill their pockets and to sell us out to the Romans.
Right.
You understand? It's the same thing that's going on today. Like when a brother or sister is falsely accused of a crime, or when they are pulled over for, supposedly speeding or having a tail light out, whatever lie it is that an officer makes up
Right.
in order to pull us over so they get a chance to murder us. Like our people should have like someone that they can turn to for help, someone that they can turn to and call upon to give them aid when they're in a time of need.
Right.
And that's why not only has the Christian church failed our people, because I mean, who the hell calls upon the Christian church when they're in danger?
Right. And you're supposed to. That's the sad part.
Come on. You understand? When you've been arrested for a false crime, do you call upon the Christian church? When you're being hunted down by white supremacists like Ahmed Arbery, do you call upon the Christian church?
Right.
You understand? When you've been pulled over like Philando Castile for supposedly committing whatever crime they accuse him of, do you call upon the Christian church, or do you sit there and pray for your life because you don't have anyone to protect you?
Right.
That's why the ISUPK is so important, because we actually offer protection for our people. We offer counseling. We guide our people through the tough situations it is that we have to face in the land of America, in this disgusting kingdom. And we've been doing it since 1969.
Listen, I know that for a fact this place saved my life. I would be dead right now if it weren't for this place. Right? I know I ain't the only one. I'd have been dead.
I said, I already told you before I found the truth.
Right? You know my story. I think everybody does.
Right.
Like I was one bad decision away from being buried. You understand? And thank the Most High in Christ for the ISUPK under Commander General Hunter, man. For every general, for every captain, for every officer, for every trooper, and for every sister. Thank the Most High in Christ for this place, man.
Right.
Because this place gave me the breath of life, man. You understand? And saved me from a wicked life. We get the scriptures whenever you want to.
Her feasts were turned into mourning, her Sabbaths into reproach.
And I don't have to tell you about that, because no Christian on the face of this planet can tell you about any of the high holy days of the Lord. Them things are sad and desolate. You understand? They don't know nothing about that, but they prepare for Christmas and Thanksgiving right now.
Right. Her honor. Oh, sorry.
And the Sabbath, man, as long as if it ain't Sunday, they don't know nothing about it. You understand? And then the fake individualites and fake groups now, when they hear Sabbath, they tell you that you can't even cook, you can't do nothing. You can't do nothing for yourself. But if they got a slave on that day, they going.
Right.
They going. They doing it. They ain't coming out. They ain't standing on that. Listen, Mr. Boss Man, Mr. Oppressor Boss. Today is the Sabbath, and I'm not coming in. I'm not working. But they will tell you, you can't even kindle a fire. You can't even eat. You can't do nothing for yourself. Just sit there. Then they phone me. You want this angel coming to work? I'm on the way right now. in the car right now as we speak.
It's like
Go ahead.
I said the fake Israelites kill me because it's like they say you can't do anything, pleasurable, but it's like you see sleeping as something pleasurable.
Right.
You understand? You think sitting is pleasurable.
Breathing. How about that?
I would say if that's the case, you gotta hold your breath all day, from sundown to sundown. You understand? You gotta stand on nails from sundown to sundown. You just gotta be a goddamn statue.
Right.
You gotta be.
You gotta torture yourself, basically. You might as well be like, what is that religion when they get the little whips and beat their back?
That's not Christianity.
Is that Christian?
Or Catholic.
Catholic or something? Yeah, they get the little whip, that's what you need to be doing right there.
But it's like some of them even find that pleasurable.
Right.
So it's,
Freaking freak.
So it's like where do you draw the line between pleasure and rest?
Right. And that goes to show you that they don't know these scriptures, man. Because the Lord even said, He asked you, He said, all right, you got a cow, you got a sheep, you got an animal, right? You got a beast of the field, and it falls into a ditch. Are you not gonna get it? You gonna let it die because it's the Sabbath?
Right.
You understand? That ain't what the Sabbath means, man. But we don't know that because we Christians. And here's another thing. If Sunday is supposed to be the Sabbath, why are you in church singing and dancing? Because you find singing and dancing pleasure.
Right.
You should be singing and dancing in there. You should be like them Catholics in there just, that's what you should be doing all day, right? You understand? That goes to show you, man. It's a lot here. Let's get back to the scriptures. Like, we have been destroyed as a nation, man. We have been destroyed as a nation to where if it's not serving that oppressor, it's all wrong. Right. And in our eyes here in America. So let's get back to the scriptures.
Her honor into contempt.
Her what?
Her honor into contempt.
The honor of the Most High, man. The honor of this nation has been turned into contempt. People look at us like we crazy. You understand? Our sisters got their heads wrapped, dressed modest. You understand? They look at them like they crazy. Our sisters ain't out here in the hot girl summer. They look at them like they crazy.
Like,
go ahead, Chris.
Sisters aren't out here committing abortion.
Oh man, they really crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
Really crazy.
Sisters aren't out here being, I think I just saw some on social media, gangbang girls. You understand? Where they let a group of men
I almost choked to death.
Have sex with them.
She said I was known as a gangbang girl.
You saw that?
Yes, I did. I commented. I put a picture up there. I don't usually do gifts, but I found a good one where the dude looked. He's like, you know what I'm saying? Looked her up and down, then turned his face away in disgust because, like, and then she said, I'll have sex with 40 to 50 dudes a night.
Yeah.
My question is this. What if you're number 48? 49, 50. Like, who is going to be the last guy? And then how do you do that? Do you take tickets? Hey, brother, hey, you cutting? I was next. I'm number 14.
I would say so. Like, you can
really,
I say you can really thank our religious leaders for all that.
Right.
Like these pastors at one time they were chosen by the Lord to lead our people.
Right.
But they chose to do what the Sadducees and Pharisees did, which was to follow the Romans. You understand?
Romans.
To rather stuff their pockets than to lead our people.
Right.
And if it means that they get to come up above, out of poverty, and to be somewhat of the higher class in America, then they're going to do so. Because our so-called leaders should have told us, like, sisters, you lay with a man, that's your husband for life.
And I was never told that as a kid going into the Christian church. I was never told that. Now, one thing I do credit my grandmother with, she told me that you're supposed to save yourself for somebody special. Now, I was told that, but it would have made a big difference if I was told, whatever woman that you lay with is your wife.
Right.
You understand? That would have made a big difference. Because I think I would have put a lot more effort into me searching for somebody that I deem worthy. And not only that, but the procedures on what to say, what to ask. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just, but I think I did pretty good. I was a late bloomer. I was like 18 years old. And never been with a woman till I was 18. So, and that's very rare in a black community. You understand? That's very rare because for some odd reason, whoredom was looked at as a trophy. That's why that chick said I was a gangbang girl because that was a trophy. Like that, she was 50 trophies. That's just like in today's world of sports. Everybody gets a trophy, whether you're first place or last place. Yeah, you had a good football season. Y'all was 0-12, but here go a trophy. That's what she was. She was that 0-12 trophy. I like it. Yeah, 0-50. You had 3 bad seasons, but you get a trophy anyway. You understand? And this is why, once more, the Maccabees is so important, man. Because they gonna let you know that the honor is the most glorious thing on the face of this planet. You can't hold the honor of the Most High in contempt, man. You can't. It's the Most High. And when we understand that the Most High deserves all the honor that we have to give, then it puts a different spin on life. That's how I operate, man. It don't matter whether I'm here it don't matter whether I'm here in front of these cameras or I'm at home where nobody sees. I honor the Most High.
Right.
I operate like I'm always being watched. You know why? Because I am right. You know what I'm saying? When you wonder why you messed up, just remember, it is the angels that have done it. Because they're going to give their report.
I don't know if I did the warrant Sunday, but
Hey, listen, it's between being tested and being punished. That was just a test, because you were damn sure.
It's like this is a little joke.
Yeah, no, listen, I know, you know what I'm saying? That's why this one West is so glorious, because I can't tell you about all the people in the world, but it's for me and my household, and when I mean my household, I mean the brothers in the UPK, especially in that town. I know what they're doing, and they are honorable men. I will lay my life down for these men and these women here in this school with no questions asked. You understand? Just bury me a priest.
Right.
You understand? Go ahead, priest.
You can't forget about Columbus.
No, I'm not. Listen, man, listen. I love y'all brothers. You already know, man. You already know what. How do I pull up in Columbus? You understand? You already know I pull up in that city. I wish they would play with me and my brothers, man. My sisters. It's going down. You understand? I be in first 48. I be one of them. You just lock me up there, cause I ain't got nothing to say. You understand? Straight up. And I know this. Listen, I know the priest and prophet is gonna take care of my son and my wife and my baby. I know they're gonna take care of it. I know it. You understand? Because I'm putting in work for the Lord. I know the Lord got me. You understand? And that's what the Maccabees knew as well. Maccabees was like, man, the Lord, I got to choose between you and the Lord. It's a hard choice. Let's get some more on these scriptures.
Verse 40. As had been her glory, so was her dishonor increased.
Right.
And her excellency was turned into mourning.
And if I could, this is where the scriptures, this is scriptures that say that we should be a byword, right? Everybody on the face of this goddamn planet dishonors blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous. You understand? That's what the scripture is talking about, man. We see it in today. It was going on back then, it's happening today. Let's get some more.
41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
Say that again. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. That all should be one people.
I gotta come together with the Chinese.
That all should be one people.
I gotta come together with the Africans.
That all should be one people.
What does this sound like right here? This is America. One nation under God. Individual and with liberty and justice for all. Except there's a problem with that. We ain't getting no goddamn justice here. I ain't seen no justice for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians or indigenous, and lucky. Because if I have, my indigenous brothers would have their land back.
Right.
all the police force would be disbanded and wouldn't even patrol the goddamn ghettos. Go ahead, priest.
It's like the Hispanics would be let out of
Them goddamn
cages
cages. Damn right.
from them ICE facilities.
Damn
The
right.
Haitians wouldn't have to be starving along
Under a
the
bridge?
borders or under bridges because America refuses to give them aid as they have with the Afghanistanians.
The Afghanistan people would have never been allowed over here. How about that? There's one nation under God, with liberty and justice for all. They should have been, hey, no, y'all got to figure it out. You can't come over here. That's what we tell the Haitians.
I would say, so like if that was the case, we'd be treated the same as the Afghanistanians.
Right.
Like America likes to make it seem like they were the first to ever do the whole melting pot philosophy
Right.
and everybody being one people under God, but they really took this from their forefathers.
Right.
You understand? It's the same thing the Greeks did. Really, it's the same thing the Romans did. And America is doing the exact same thing, but what they don't tell you is that the Greeks were oppressing the Israelites, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and the indigenous in such a terrifying way. You understand? The Romans did the same thing, and America is doing the same thing as their forefathers. It's a cycle that is going to continue until we learn that our oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
The Assyrians did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
The Persians, Babylon. That's what Babylon was built on. You understand? Go ahead, priest.
Looks like all those great empires that failed, America too is falling.
Right.
A lot.
Goddamn right. I didn't mean to cut you off on that. Go ahead, priest. But like that, what you bringing out is so heavy, man. Like this one nation, all that bull crap, that means absolutely nothing, man. That is against the Most High all day, every day, man. All day, every day. The Most High don't give a damn about you coming together in some smoking pot and, you know, talking about God loves everybody. When you say that, he's sitting on his throne like, I said, what?
Right.
Why these niggas lying on me? So, like, why they keep lying on my name? He like Birdman. He better put some respect on my name. You gonna pull up like Birdman here soon.
Right.
Go ahead, priest.
And it's like for the brothers and sisters out there who are just such diehard Christians who say, oh, well, you know, you give it another 100 years and things will change in this empire. Maybe we'll be closer to being equal with our oppressor. Like, just like nothing changed during the time of the Greeks, nothing is going to change in America. Just like the Greeks murdered us in the streets, just like they ensured that they took all of the wealth away from us, just like they stole our children and molested them, they raped our women, they stole our land, they did everything that they could in order to oppress us as a nation and as a people. America is going to continue to do the same thing. That's why they have never changed through the centuries, through the ages, why they've always hated us, and they will continue to hate us no matter how much our religious leaders persuade us to continue to love them.
Right. If I could, Quathasar, let me get 1 Kings 8 and 53. You understand? Like, if you would, Bungad, read what you just read.
1 Maccabees chapter 1, verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
How many people?
One people.
And one nation under God?
One people.
Keep going.
42. And everyone should leave his laws.
Read that again.
1 Maccabees chapter 1, verse 42. And everyone should leave his laws.
All right, Quathasar, if I could, you got that scripture? Let's get it.
It's the book of 1 Kings, chapter 8, verse 51. For they be thy people, and thy inheritance, which thou broughtest forth out of Egypt, for the midst of the furnace of iron.
Where you at with scripture?
Salakia, 1 Kings, chapter 8, verse 51.
53.
Salakia. This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 8, verse 53.
It's like I said, before you continue, Officer Quatazar,
Damn right.
you know what I'm saying? I want to reread this scripture from the top real quick.
Go ahead, priest.
And everyone should leave his laws. And that's exactly what.
About to get to that. I know where you're
Okay,
going.
Go ahead.
I know where you're going,
Go ahead,
priest.
go
I
ahead,
know where you're going.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Lucky.
Go ahead.
If you will, Quatazar, get that scripture. 53.
Come on, sir.
I know. I'm reading your mind.
Gotta be one spirit, one Lord.
Yeah, listen, this is spiritual. No, just kidding. Go ahead, priest. Salaki.
No, this is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 8, verse 53.
Go ahead.
For thou didst separate them from among all the people of the earth.
He did what?
For thou didst separate them from among all the people of the earth.
We are one people. We are one nation. That's what we just read. The king Antiochus was trying to bring us together as one, the same as King Nebuchadnezzar. Man, remember that in Babylon? We was one people. We built the tower. We was gonna fight God.
Right.
He didn't want us to fight God. We was gonna do it.
Right.
That's what you're reading, right? Fight God.
To be thine inheritance, as thou speakest by the hand of Moses thy servant.
Damn right. If you could, stop there, man.
So
Stop there and let's get, we going into Romans 7 and 12, man. Actually, I'll take that back. Romans 7 and 1. And the sad part is we could go down to 12, but we're not. Let's just get 7 and 1. Romans 7 and 1. We just read where the Lord divided the people, divided his people from the rest of the people of all the earth. This ain't just one scripture. You can find this all over the Bible.
Right.
All over the Bible where the Lord has separated us from all the other nations. Black, Hispanic, and indigenous man, woman, and child, you are separate. You are separate. And then it said to give up his what? Read that. Read, what was that, 33? No, 32? 42. If you would, Bungay, read the beginning of 42 again.
Okay. This is the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 42.
Go ahead.
And everyone should leave his laws.
Read that again.
And everyone should leave his laws.
This is a man saying this. This is a man trying to go against what the Most High has said. The Most High said, always follow the law, statutes, and commandments.
that's right.
You understand? And then you get a man, King Antiochus, saying, listen, we are all one people. And don't worry about eating pork. Don't worry about sleeping with whores. Don't worry about killing. Don't worry about robbing. Don't worry about stealing.
Drug dealing.
Say it again?
Drug dealing.
Yeah, don't worry about drug dealing.
Drug addict.
Don't worry about being, smoke all the dope you want to. Rape all the little kids you want to. That's what you can do. You can do what you want to do. Can you imagine that if you did what you wanted to do? We don't do that here in the school. We don't do what we want to do. We do what we're supposed to do. We do what we're ordered to do. And this is why I say this, man, because this was taught to me. If you want to feel good, take your ass to the Christian church.
Right.
You can sing and dance and jump around and feel as good as you want to. But if you want to be good, come into the ISU camp to Convention Junior High.
Right.
Read that scripture, Pastor.
And so
Go ahead, priest.
Before you begin, Officer Quatazar, yes, sir, our people can truly thank our religious leaders, the Christian pastors,
Absolutely.
or the Catholic, what do they call them, pastors? The Catholic leaders for the state of our people and for the way of life it is that we live.
Right.
You understand? We can thank them for the pedophilia, for the drug dealing, the drug addiction, for the sisters who become whores, for the brothers that make pimps out of our women. Like, we can thank them for all of the hatred within our communities,
right,
because they promoted this philosophy of white supremacy that is Christianity.
all the hatred within ourselves.
You understand? Within our communities.
Damn right. Damn right. You got that, Balthazar?
Sir.
If you would, okay, read that 42, beginning of 42, one more time.
Come on. This book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 1, it's like verse 42. And everyone should leave his laws.
Stop right there. Go ahead, Balthazar.
Come. This is the book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 1.
Go ahead.
Know ye not, brethren.
Who?
Know ye not, brethren.
Who?
Brethren.
This is Matthew talking to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, and the indigenous, and Lockheed. He said, know ye out. Know ye not, brethren. Know ye not, my nigga, my sister, my blood of my blood, flesh of my flesh. Keep going.
For I spake to them that know the law.
I know you know better than this. I know you know better. I shouldn't have to tell you not to sleep with a 10-year-old. What the hell? I really got to tell you that? I got to tell you not to sleep with a 10-year-old. I have to tell you that. Don't be raping that little kid. That's wrong. Just think how that sounds. Don't be doing that. Now, who is that you're stealing from? You stealing from your mama? Don't steal from your mother. Don't steal from your father. Don't steal from your brother. Don't steal from... I have to tell you that. Understand? Don't kill him for no reason. Don't kill her for no reason. I have to tell you that. I speak to them to know the law. Keep going.
How that the law hath dominion over a man as long as he liveth.
Read that again, Quatazar.
Sir. How that the law hath dominion over a man as long as he liveth.
Nah, if the King Antiochus tell us that we don't have to follow it, right? That's what that said?
How that the law hath dominion over a man as long as he liveth.
That the law hath dominion over a man for as long as he liveth. And when it says man, it don't just mean a man.
Right.
It means you too, sisters.
Right.
It means you as well. The law has dominion over us for as long as we live. Don't let nobody tell you that the laws were done away with. The scriptures say Christ comes to fulfill the law, not to destroy them. He's here to fulfill the laws, man. He's here to make sure that you follow the law, statutes, and commandments. Go ahead, priest.
Can I get a breakdown of Jeremiah 2:33?
Let's get it.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 33. Why trimmest thy way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways.
Jeremiah. Read that again.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 2, verse 33. Why trimmest thy way to seek love?
This goes right into the book of the Maccabees. You understand? Because in the book of the Maccabees, them soldiers, the warriors, the mighty men of the Most High, they didn't trim their ways to seek love. They did not do that. They didn't say, you know what? Antiochus said, you know, we can do what we want to do. Let's just do it. I know what the law say. I know what Christ wants us to do. But this man said I can do what I want to do. Keep going.
Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways.
Now, what that's saying is this. That's saying this. You know better. You understand? Why are you changing your ways to be wicked? Why are you changing your ways to seek love from somebody else? You understand? Well, how did this sound? All my buddies is raping little kids. They raping 10-year-olds. Why shouldn't I rape 10-year-olds too? And then not only that, not only am I watching my buddies do it, and I'm raping 10-year-olds to fit in with them, but then I'm going to bring somebody else. I have a gift for you, my brother. Come in here. Go into the bedroom. It's 10-year-old for you right there. Go ahead. I'm not going to tell anyone. That's what the scripture's talking about. How could you betray everything that you believe in to be accepted by somebody else? And then not only will you betray everything that you believe in to be accepted by somebody else, but then you're going to bring other people in to do the same wickedness as you. To do the same wickedness as you. So now, not only are you being destroyed and then trying to seek the love of everybody else. You understand? Now you want to get somebody else to do it. Let me ask you something. Who does that sound like? Y'all know the answer.
Baltazar was about to say.
Yeah, go ahead. What's the answer, Baltazar?
It reminds me of when my mom used to ask me, so if such and such is going to jump off a bridge, you going to jump off a bridge too?
Right. But more than that, it's a certain place that teaches this same thing. The Christian church. That is your Christian pastor all the way.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he tells you that the laws are done away with.
Right.
That's exactly why. Because he's doing all the wicked stuff. He's sleeping with the kids. He's stealing your money. He's destroying your family. He's not serving the Most High. So he's going to tell you, listen, man, the laws are done away with. And by him telling you that, he's giving you the green light to come on and be a sinner just like him. It's the same way Antiochus was just doing. Did I say the name right, one guy? King Antiochus? King Antiochus was doing that same thing. Be a sinner like me. Like, just think about it. In the world, when we was doing something wicked, we wanted somebody else to do it.
Right.
We did. Hey, listen, we about to go rob such and such so-and-so. Come on. Come on. I'm about to throw my life away. You throw yours away as well.
And look, if you smoke this, I'll smoke it.
Yeah. Listen, you hit the blunt, I hit it. You understand? If you do it, I'll do it. How many of us have said that in the world?
Yeah.
We have all said that in the world. I can't be the only one that said it or had it said to me. We have said it or had it said to us, and we did it. We did it. That's what that scripture's talking about. Hey, no sweat, priest. If we could, my guy, let's get to the end of, let's do 42 from the top, and then we're going to shut it down there.
Look at 1 Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 42. And everyone should leave his laws.
Damn, we should stop following the Most High?
Should leave his laws.
I know the scriptures say thou shalt not kill, but I really do hate my brother for some odd reason.
Should leave his laws.
Man, I want to pimp those. That's what I want to do. I'm a player.
Should leave his laws.
I think I'm Mike Larry.
Leave his laws.
Leave the laws of the laws of the Lord, man. That's what this king said. That's what the Christian pastor said.
Right.
Keep going, priest.
And it's like just
Go ahead, buddy, man.
Just to add on what it was you said about pimping sisters out and being Mike Lowry.
Mike Lowry.
You understand that? Like things like that were just unfathomable by, you understand, our forefathers. You understand, by our great grandparents and grandparents, of brothers becoming drug dealers, sisters becoming whores, our daughters becoming whores, committing abortions, interracial relationships. Like all of this was just unimaginable to our grandparents and great grandparents, great great grandparents, so on and so forth. But through the Christian church, our people were persuaded to leave what it is that we knew was right and to follow the ways of America.
It became the norm.
It
became the norm. We didn't care about following the Lord. Because how many times have we came across, and when I say we, I mean everybody in class right now watching online, how many times have we came across people that say, I know it's wrong, but that should tell you something right there. When they tell you flat out, I know it's wrong, but.
They don't even say but anymore.
Yeah, they don't. I know it's wrong. So what?
Yeah.
That's the new generation stuff right there.
Or slight. They won't even say that it's wrong. They'll just accept that as a way of life.
Right.
That it is that they were brought up on, knowing, like for instance,
homosexuality.
You know the funny thing is, I just want to bring that up.
Right.
Yes, because like the Hispanics in my slave, they basically just said they'd be a prostitute for I think like 5,000 to another man.
I bust people up all the time.
And it's like Hispanics aren't really, a pro homosexual community. So it's so it's like
the money.
So it's like when brothers or sisters say it, they'll go out and live that way of life, it's like you truly abandoned the morals it is that you were taught by your parents
Right.
and by your grandparents.
Right.
And that just goes to show you that we are the people of this Bible, of this book right here, because who else is going to abandon the ways of their forefathers in order to learn the ways of their slave masters?
I'll tell you who don't. Them goddamn heathens.
Yeah.
That's why they waited 20 years to get America up out of Afghanistan
Yeah.
and then was dancing to Bobby's Murder with the AK. Straight up. Nobody else abandons. Them Africans don't abandon because you don't see them in the ghettos. When you work with them, they don't accept you. They don't come. How you doing, my brother? Did you see the Black Panther movie?
Right.
It was a very good movie. You ain't seen one black Salaki. You ain't seen one African big up the Black Panther movie at all.
They call it cultural appropriation.
Yeah, they was offended. Said, how dare them say that? We would never help you niggas. Proof is in the pudding. We ain't helped you yet. You understand? Like, these other nations don't give a damn. And let me tell you what else they don't do. They don't give up their laws for you.
Right.
They don't give up their laws for you. If you would, the proof is in the scripture. Finish the rest of that scripture, my God. This is going to be a chop suey right here.
So all the heathen agreed.
Who agreed?
The heathen agreed.
Listen, they are quick to get you to give up what you believe. But they're not going to give up what they believe. And this is why, like what Officer Quatazar brought out earlier is so important. Like taking marriages home with these heathens. This is why you can't do that, because as blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous people, when we marry a heathen, whether it be man or woman, we take on their culture. They don't take on ours. We abandon our beliefs. They don't abandon theirs.
Just like Kanye West is a perfect example.
Goddamn right, Chris. Go ahead and drop it on that.
I say, you understand, like, at first, that brother, he started out as being pro-black. You know what I'm saying? He talked about what was going on in the community.
President Bush don't care about black people.
You understand? He had sisters around him. He was married to a sister based off of, you understand, the Bible, sex being marriage.
Right.
You understand? He actually cared about what was going on with our people.
Right.
And then he started getting with devils. You understand? He got with Amber Rose. Then, you know, he lost a little more flavor. He lost that love it was he had for our people.
Right.
And he started focusing more on becoming a trend setter. You understand? And then he got with what's her name? Kim Kardashian.
Mm-hmm.
And the brother just completely lost
What's the name for Hordashian?
Yeah, and the brother just completely lost his mind. You understand? He got a patch job in his head. Like, he was wearing homeless man clothes.
Making homeless man clothes. And not only that, if I could, Salakia, preach real quick, but he got with her after he seen her in a porno with another man.
Right.
He married her after he literally seen her with another man's rod in her mouth. Wow. Like, Jesus Christ, Salakia.
Yeah.
He said, that's what I want.
Ugh.
I want that. I want to kiss her on the lips. That's what he said. That's a lot.
You understand? He was wearing Rorschach's mask. and every point you brought up.
Well, yeah, it's the word.
Every point you brought up.
He said the Rorschach mask.
Every point you brought up about him marrying that disgusting whore,
right,
is that she had filed for divorce from him. And he went and did an interview and said that that's still his wife, even though I believe she admitted having feelings for another man.
Right.
They was going on dates. They was kissing and doing Lord knows
she
what.
had already made another porno with that man.
Right.
While she was married to Kanye.
Like.
Go ahead, please.
It's not ways of love. It's not love.
It's not.
You want to get another, Will and Jada ticket situation.
Hey, listen, that's exactly what he was doing. And that's because he listens to King Antiochus. That's why. He listened to King Antiochus. Go ahead,
I said it's crazy because like he didn't really get to veer off that path until he got with the Kardashians and started getting into that political career and following, these political figures more and more. Like that's that following the ways of the heathen. That's listening to that whole leaving your laws and becoming one people. And that just goes to show not only are these people not fit to lead our nation regarding the heathens, but as well as these blacks, Hispanics, and the indigenous who claim to have some kind of knowledge, that have a wealth about them, but in reality, they're just like, they really have mental problems.
Right.
Like Kanye West, he has mental problems. That cat who's that cat that said he
August Alsina.
Well, August Alsina, he got mental problems. You understand? Who's the cat that say that name, vaccinated, please basketball?
Kyrie Irving.
You're saying the Kyrie Irvings who put conspiracy theories above just common sense.
And not only that, if I could, real quick on Kyrie Irving, he says that he doesn't even like black women.
Damn.
He loves white women. He said, black women, I don't date black women. I only date white women. That's what he said.
Speechless.
He didn't say light-skinned sisters. He said white women. Hey, so I'm just telling you what the man said.
Speechless.
Hey.
I mean,
But he wants the black support. He wants the black love. That's what happens when you listen to King Antiochus.
Right.
And if I could, my guy said, I don't know what to say after that.
I'm just ready to finish the scripture.
So, if you could, let's get 42 again.
Come. This is the book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 42.
Right.
And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed.
And when you listen to that, motherfucker, go ahead.
According to the commandment of the king.
Listen, when it says according to the commandment of the king, I'm going to just make it real simple for you. In black, Hispanic, and indigenous people's lives, the king is who? The oppressor. Because that's who has control, that's who has power. So anything that they say, you agree with. Kanye went from President Bush don't care about black people. I just want to say that. I just want to say President Bush don't. Katrina is a bad thing. That's what he said when Katrina was happening. He said Katrina is real bad, and I'm ashamed to admit. Before I gave anything to help the people of Katrina, he said I went out and bought me a new house and a new chain and all this other miscellaneous stuff, because he was counting on the government to take care of black people. Why? Because he believed in King Antiochus, who was President Bush at the time.
Right.
And then he goes to say, President Bush don't care about black people. Live on TV, they thought his career was over. His career didn't get over until he got with that devil woman. And then he went from President Bush don't care about black people to, if you would read that scripture one more time for me.
Okay.
42. Right, yes, sir. From the top. Let's get it, Bruce. Come on, nigga. Yes, sir.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 1, verse 42.
Yeah, right.
And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
And we already know one thing about black men. They have no authority in a relationship. Especially when they're with a heathen.
Right.
It don't matter what nation that heathen stems from. Shit, he don't have any control when it's one of his own nation.
Right.
If he's in a Christian church, which Kanye is a devout Christian, his whole last rap CD was horrible Christian music. It was so horrible that regular Christians that listen to all that Christian music were like, this sucks. That's how horrible it was. They're like, this sucks. This is the worst Christian CD ever. But he listened to this devil, right, who dictates his whole career. And he went from black people don't care about President Bush don't care about black people to hugged up in a picture with President Trump like this.
Wearing a Make America Great Again.
Yeah, wearing a MAGA hat. Talking about slavery was a choice. Like a nigga gonna call in. Is this a slave master? Pass me through to the slave master. Yay, so lucky. I don't think I'm gonna be picking cotton today. I say feeling in my back hurts. Fingers is all blistered from touching them thorns. Oh, I won't be in today. In fact, I won't be in ever again. Have a good day. Take it easy. Like, that's what choice means. Choice means having the power to decide. They didn't have the power to decide. It was either do this to live or die. That's what it was. And here's what we don't know, here's what we forget. Is that when we had family on plantations, like if we family, they would separate you from me. So if I do something that displease him, he wouldn't kill me. He's gonna kill you. Or if you did something that pleased him over there, he's not gonna kill you. He's gonna kill me. So if you know that your family is at the threat of death, are you gonna do something that endangers your family? Or are you gonna do what the goddamn devil told you to do so you can keep your family alive? And here's the sad part. We don't even have them circumstances nowadays, but we listen to their pressure because we're so brainwashed. We have, what's it called? Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm syndrome. That's what we have. To where we believe that we have to do these things and we don't, man. From this day forth, I want brothers and sisters to have the spirit of the Maccabees. We ain't doing none of that. No! I ain't celebrating Thanksgiving. What you gonna do, kill me? So what? Christmas? Man, after you ain't your Christmas. Now what? Your birthday? Man, kiss my, you know the rest. How about your birthday? And here's the sad part. Christmas is supposed to be the Lord's birthday according to Christianity. What they getting the Lord?
Oh, Christ.
Huh? Oh, my fault.
Right.
Well, I said Lord.
They consider
Yeah, I said Lord, and I was speaking of Christ as the Lord. But you're right, Christians be like, the Lord in Christ is true, you know. So when I say Lord, I was talking about Christ. You understand? In that aspect, but you know, we UPK, so we understand this. But for you Christians' sake, I'm talking about Christ. Christmas is supposed to be Christ's birthday, right? What you getting Christ for his birthday? I'm just saying. That's what, so if it's Christ's birthday, why am I gonna buy you a gift? Why?
So I got one.
Go ahead, priest.
The Lord knows my heart.
Hey, the Lord knows my heart, so when I get mad about you not getting me a gift, not the Lord a gift, but me a gift. Because the Lord knows my heart. It ain't even about getting the Lord something. It's about me. I'm about to freak out. It's about them kids. It's about them kids. I don't celebrate for me, I celebrate for the kids. Kids deserve this because the high holidays are enough. For some odd reason, I can't get them a gift any other day of the week. It has to be when our pressure tells them. Go ahead, Chris.
It's like, you know, it's not for the kids. Because this Jake I conversed with in my slave, who has a newborn son that he dressed up as a goddamn, it was a dinosaur, who won't have any recognition of being dressed up as a dinosaur.
Right.
Who wasn't able to taste any kind of candy.
Right.
Who wasn't able to converse and socialize with other people who were dressed up as goblins and ghouls in their late 30s. Like, he won't remember any of that.
Right.
That's solely for the parents, for the adults, for those who look to please our oppressor. That's all.
Damn right.
Foolish.
Right. That's a heavy point.
Foolish.
Because if it's for the kids, wait for them to remember. Because maybe I'm just the only one, but I don't remember nothing from when I was 5 years old.
Right.
The niggas got memories from 5 years old. Go ahead, Prince.
I got one. And just to touch on that Kyrie Irving situation, right?
Damn right.
Like all the players that are in the NBA, why pick one who has one of the greatest following to say that, hey, I'm not taking this shot? We know how much money he's supposedly missing out on, but how much money is he getting paid to push this agenda? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
what sense is that? Why turn this that way? It's to teach the oppressor, you know what I'm saying, what we really supposed to, you know what I mean, about. Like, that makes no sense.
But we talking about the same guy that said that he don't date black women, he only likes white women. We talking about the same guy that, like you said, he has this big following, right? But he believes in flat earth. He's a flat earther. So that should pretty much explain everything.
I guarantee you tell you loves his mother too.
Listen, I know he do. And I guarantee you that he's prepared for Thanksgiving as well as Christmas.
Oh my God.
You understand? Kyrie Irving is a goddamn joke. You understand? This is the same nigga that had a problem with LeBron. LeBron he's too good. I don't like being around him. Hey, how many years was he in Cleveland before LeBron came back and got him a ring?
Right.
Like he's a bum. And I'm not just talking about basketball wise. I'm talking about spiritually because your big thing is the vaccine. And listen, you're smoking weed. You understand? You smoking weed. You smoking weed. You're sleeping with white women. But this is where you draw the line. You draw the line at the vaccine. You don't draw the line at the weed that you smoke. Here you are puffing your lungs full of this goddamn marijuana that comes from the same place that your vaccine comes from. You get what I'm saying? You don't draw the line at that. But
I believe he's like in his 30s. The lock, he's in like 30s, right?
right.
So I guarantee he got his vaccine when he was like 6th grade.
Right.
Yeah, this is like he polio, whatever other disease he could have gotten prior to getting those vaccines. But you're gonna put this agenda.
And here's the sad part. He ain't even said. He said it's personal. You know why he didn't say it was religious?
Well,
Because he don't believe in nothing.
oh, he's absolutely right. It's personal because of the trauma that he's endured throughout his life forms his personality. So yeah, it's personal, right? He don't give a damn about nobody unless it benefits him.
Right.
So like,
Right. You know what I'm saying? And that goes to show you, like Kyrie Irving, if you want to know what he is, he's a Christian.
yeah, absolutely.
He's a Christian. He said flat earth. But let me tell you something. That's just like the Christian saying the laws are done away with. He don't believe in the law, statutes, and commandments. He don't believe in the Bible. He believes in whatever benefits him, just like any other Christian. You understand?
That's right.
And that's it, and that's all, man. With that being said, man, I'm gonna pass the class over to priest and officer of 1,000, Monterey, Barngad, man. Let's clap it up. If you're good, let's get the Lord's Prayer, whatever prayers you want to do, and we shut down. Quartzler, you can put your mic on mute and just do the prayers that way, so it don't be a delay.
Come on, sir.
ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK. Started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it.
Right.
After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry, tithes, which is a commandment. The book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21, and the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 to 10, means tenth in the Hebrew, Mayashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund. It's a free will offering for priests. It's not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. It's a feast of dedication, which is November 28th.
I believe so. Just for, if you let them know where the bulletin board is, so they can make sure. I believe it's 28.
Convocation feast dedication, November 28th. And so you can check the bulletin board for any upcoming high holy days. We'll also be taking coat donations for a reservation out in Wisconsin, you understand, which will be giving away coats on November 14th. To the indigenous brothers and sisters, as well as children out there who have been neglected by the tribal governments.
And if we could, not just coat donations, but anything that you want to donate.
I will
Make sure that we take care, not just for the reservations, but, we got so many things that we into. We got the reservations, we got the Haitians, we got the brothers here in this city. So any donations as well. That's all I want to say.
If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or a war scarf. With that said, Imadium, which means to stand. Wapunya Hakidum, which means to turn and face the east. The Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawu. Shabbat Shemayim. Quadash. Hayah. Shemka. Yahweh. Malakuka. Taba'ah. Ratazayaka. Hayah. Aisha. Ba'arataza. Kawar. Hayah. Bashamayim. Nathan. Lanawa. Lakam. Call. Yawam. Wasalakanawa. Kawabawathanawa. Kasalakanawa. Kawabawathayanawa. Wala'ah. Dabayayanawa. Banasai one. Above. Hawashayanawa. Mayan. Rai. Kaya. Laka. Hamalakwa. Wa'ala. Watapara. La'walamyam. Aman. Lord's Prayer in the English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Prayer for the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatha Yahweh, wa Yahweh Shai, wa Myaka'ala, wa Ahayim, Matazab Yah, Alawap Yahana, Ha Alawapyam, Hazaranyam, Ha Kwatazayanyam, Ha Kayayayam, Waha Kwathian, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, the water Aman. Prayer for the blessings in the English. Bless you, Yahweh, and Yahushua, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yahanam, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua. Thank you. So be it. Sar, which means a turn. Sisters Yeshavia, which means to be seated. We're going to give a salute to the brothers, men of Israel. Amadim Shabbat, Amadim, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakadom. There's a matah. Sisters Amadim, which means to stand. Sar, turn and face the sisters. We're going to give a salute to the sisters, men of Israel. Amadim Shabbat, Amadim, Barak, Yahweh Shema Adam by Hashem Yahushua. Yazmatah. Class dismissed.
Mighty work, Balthazar.
Once I started making the off of my rod, I need that hoodie.